Foundation webinar.
Wait.
And it's,
That's
you start again.
that, Mr. Praise.
Hello, everyone. You're welcome to the Empowered African Youth Foundation webinar, the very first of its kind. And today we're talking about tips on starting a successful business in the youth. And I would love to remind you that the foundation is a foundation aimed to empower African youth entrepreneurship among young Africans. And we have a very distinct personality joining us in this conversation this afternoon. He is a partner at JO Fabunmi. He is also the director of business. He's the Nigeria International Finance Association. He's also the member of the infrastructure working group of National Economic Management Team. Fabunmi, you're welcome online, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we're going straight down to business. Tips on starting a successful business in the youth. There's this notion about entrepreneurship that most people, most passionate, most young people don't really have an idea. And there's always the notion that you have money, if you don't have a capital, you can actually start a business. So most of the times what we hear is you need money to start up a business, as opposed to conventional way of you must have an idea before a business can thrive. Can you give us your experience so far about how you've been able to put up this the partnership and everything you've been doing so far?
Right. All right. Thank you very much. So I just want to start off by saying a few things that you need to, what I can call like ingredients that you need to have, like tips for entrepreneurship. So when you want to start off a business or an idea, there are a lot of surrounding circumstances that you need to avert your mind to, or certain things that you shouldn't do, or you should be aware of and try to avoid. Number one is fear. Because entrepreneurship is sort of dynamic. It's not when you create things, it's not conventional. When you have young people trying to start a business, it's not conventional. I remember I started what you can now call business when I was about 9 or 10. A few of my friends, together with myself, we started recycling news from daily newspapers, and then we converted into a weekly sort of journal, and we were selling in the neighborhood. So we then at the time took on a big responsibility. So one thing you need to avoid is having to fear that your idea or your plan or your business would not succeed. So first thing, eliminate fear. Now, another thing that you also need to embrace is you must constantly think. You must constantly have a creative mind. Don't be stereotypical. Just continue to evolve. If you've done something successfully, good, but don't stay on that. As you can know that, as you may or may not know, I'll give a good example. Now, before Facebook came on stream, there was High Five and a few other social media. Facebook came on stream. We all liked it. But then, of course, Facebook saw that it wasn't, after a while, that people were losing interest. So what did he do? He didn't say, oh, on Facebook, everybody likes me. I have 1 billion people. I'm going to sit down. He moved on, bought Instagram, other businesses, and then recreated itself. So you need to be novel. You need to have a very, very creative mind, and so that you don't stagnate. The other thing that you need to also learn is that there's a price for everything, and one of the key things that you hear is you need to be hardworking. Even setting up this platform is a bit of work, and you must constantly know that your life is your work and your work is your life. If if you need to succeed. No amount of work will be too much. Also, you also need to be consistent in what you do. Consistency is good, so that you have a sort of a focus on how it is that or what it is that you need to do. And more importantly, when you are consistent, people will find you reliable. If you're a business person or an entrepreneur, I'll give you a good example. We had a training in Abuja last 2 weeks or so, and I consulted with one of the upcoming photographers in Abuja, and we had a discussion on participation. But on the day of the event, or the night of before the event, I got a text that, oh, I think my plans will change. I may come in late and all those sort of things. And to my shock, the person did not turn up on the day. So that sort of person, if I was preparing that person for a bigger role or for a bigger assignment, obviously that person has failed. So no matter what it is, as a budding entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur, you have to be consistent. You have to be reliable. You must let people have confidence in you, not just in your ability, because ability is good, talent is good, but then the consistency is very, very important. Also, another area that we often find is that people tend to see failure as the end game. Failure is not the end game. Failure is part of it. It's part of life. There are things you will do that you will not succeed at. Don't be discouraged. Just keep at it. Move on it. See it as a chapter in the book. Once you finish a chapter, you continue on the next chapter. Don't be bogged down by your failure. Learn from it, however, but don't let it bog you down. And also, always try to learn new things. Always try to experience new things as an entrepreneur. Don't just keep don't keep doing the same thing on and on and on. And take time off whatever it is you do. Because at times when you focus too hard on something, you start hearing yourself basically. So you need to step back, once in a while, enjoy yourself, do things that make you happy aside from your work, and get a bit of rejuvenation in the process. One other area that I think especially you need to learn as a young person is avoid people that will kill your dreams, people that will destroy whatever dreams you want to have. I mean, they may be your closest family members, not that they're going to do it maliciously, but they just don't believe in what you believe in, and that might be a problem. So you can imagine Facebook. The story goes, he was in Harvard, he dropped out of school. I mean, you can imagine the process of him dropping out of school from Harvard, what his parents would possibly say about that. But then he believed in what he was doing, got it right, and today is one of the richest people in the world. So when you see somebody, it might affect whatever it is they're doing. If they are close family members, if they are close friends, whatever they are, be respectful about it, be discreet about it, but don't let them destroy whatever it is you want to create, because you might just be the next Facebook. Also, avoid people that are judgmental, that pass judgment. Again, they come in the similar fashion. Oh, this can never succeed. You will not do well, and things like that. So try and possible to avoid them. Also, try as much as possible to avoid people that are envious. You meet a lot of them. When you're doing well, they will not let you know you're doing well. They will start putting, sort of some poison into your mind, start creating doubts, and not making you believe in yourself or your ability. Try and avoid those sort of people. All right. I think I'll go to the next stage on the substance of what I need to talk about. Before you start off on a business, the first thing you need to do is it must be something that you have a passion in. It must be something that you enjoy doing. Because at the end of the day, that is what will carry you through when you're an entrepreneur. That's very important. The founder of this NGO, I know how much effort is put into it, how much passion is put into it. I mean, talking about this platform itself, I know what we had to go through in setting it up, with all the challenges. I mean, there were lots of challenges, but the passion that he had in getting this platform on and going is what really is making us talk to you right now. Otherwise, we could have just canceled the whole program, you know. So the first, you need to have a high degree of passion, belief in what you're doing. Now, once that is done, I remember using the founders as an example. When he met me and said he wanted to do this, I've met with so many people. I mean, this is not a business. This is an NGO. But then you can use the same principles for business. We talked about this thing, I believe, a few months ago, maybe towards the beginning of the year. And he kept on engaging with me. He moved it from conversation, which was routine calls. We had a function in, before the function, he registered an association with the government, which is very important. And again, that shows is a statement of intent, a statement of seriousness. Now, if he had just talked to me about it, and we've been talking and talking and talking, I doubt if I'll be on the platform talking this afternoon. But one of the major commitments I saw from him was the registration of an incorporated trustee with the Corporate Affairs Commission. That spoke volume about his seriousness. So number one thing is you have the passion, which is good. Number two thing is you need to take it from being just an idea, just being something fantastic. You need to move it to the realm of seriousness. So if you want to start a business, you need to register it. You know, go to the Corporate Affairs Commission, speak to a lawyer, get it registered. That's the first way people will take you seriously. Also, I remember earlier this year, there was a girl I was talking to. She had very serious things that she was doing. But then, despite the advice that I gave her, that, you know what, this thing is interesting, this thing is exciting, go and register a business, either as a business name or a limited liability company. She didn't. And then, when she had problems, she came to me and said, oh, these are the problems. I said, well, nobody's going to take you seriously. You have a fantastic idea, but there are many, many millions of other people that have fantastic ideas. What shows the seriousness or indicates the seriousness is your ability to move on to the next stage. So once you have an idea, which is good, the next thing is for you to move it on. Do something that will show that you are serious about it. Now, registering a company doesn't come cheap. You need to expend money, and that is what will show that indeed, you know, you're serious about what you want to do. Now, when you register your company, or before you register your company, you must have a plan. You must set out the plan. You know, again, using the founder as an example, I remember he sent me what you can call a business plan. It wasn't professionally done, but it was clear what he wanted to do. He had all the aims, the objectives, the modus operandi. He had everything down. It wasn't just in his head. He had put it down, what the objectives are. And I'm so happy that I'm part of this initial conversation, because this is part of the plan, to engage, to build capacity within the space that he's trying to create. And you can see that I'm sure there's quality that is being added from the conversation that we're starting off now. One other area that I find that, you know, you need to constantly be conscious of, and I'll tell you a story. A few months ago, I was involved in a conference, and we had quite a number of people coming and going, you know, working with us and all that. And there was a young woman that came in. She wasn't working with us, but her friend was working with us. And they told me they wanted to go out because we had a sort of a camp system, and they wanted to go out on a Saturday night. And I said, you know what? I think it was a Friday night. I said, you know, Saturday we had something important we had to do, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's wise for you to go. And then the young woman came to me and said, hey, excuse me, it's my birthday. It was my birthday during the week. I couldn't celebrate. I want to celebrate with my friends. And I said to her, well, you can celebrate some other day. Tomorrow we have something doing. And she says, oh, I booked a table in a club. I've ordered for drinks and all that. And I said, how much? I said, well, cancel it. I said, oh, no. I've already deposited, I think 100,000 or something. I said, 100,000? You're what, 21, 22? Why are you putting 100,000 down for drinks on? And she says, oh, well, that she does beads and things like that. So I said, well, I'm impressed that you're doing beads, but I think 100,000 is too much for your income to put on drinks to celebrate a birthday party. And lo and behold, within a week, this same girl came to me and said, "Oh, please, can you? I need 10,000 naira. I need to do something." And I'm like, "You had 100,000 to put on drinks. You want to do? I know. I think she got an order to do something, and then she didn't have 10,000 to buy the raw materials to do it." So I was so angry that how can you? I mean, you've saved 100,000 from your work, and then this same work that you need to do, you go and spend the money on drinks, and then the next order you have, you cannot meet it. So one important thing that you need to know is that you will get a lot of liquidity, but then you must learn how to manage your money. You must know how to manage them. How do you do that? One of the easiest ways to do that is once you register a business, either as a business or limited liability company, the best thing for yourself is to take a salary. So if you look at it and say, well, my salary for the month is 10,000 naira. Now you can build your expenses if you buy drinks of 10,000 from your salary. Good luck. But that means that out of the 100,000, you're only taking 10,000 for your salary. Then 90,000 is still left for your business. And then, of course, you can then invest into your business. Periodically, you can take a dividend or a profit share, as you may want to call it. But then the business is rolling. So it's not like you get 100,000 and then you blow everything up and then wait for the next paycheck. That will definitely kill whatever business you're trying to get into. Another area that you also need to avert your mind to is your customer is your king. Your customer that's the blood of your business. If there are no customers, you don't have a business. So you need to ensure that you have good customer service. You check up on your customer. You understand what your customers want, because without them, you are not in business. One area that I find, and I'm still finding interesting, is how people promote what they do. One of the things that you need to do as a business, as an entrepreneur, is that people need to know what you do. You need to be able to connect. You need to be able to network. And it's very important that you do that. If you don't promote yourself, if you don't promote your business, nobody's going to do it for you. So you constantly have to tell people what to do, not necessarily in a way that will show that you are marketing what you are doing. So, for instance, from this conversation now, one of the things I do is I build capacity, I do trainings and things like that. So, in between the things that you do, you can sort of subtly slot in, in between your daily routine, you can subtly slot in your activity. So I'll give you a good example. I know somebody that is into cleaning and she belongs to a church. And then she says to them, "Oh, I'm going to volunteer my cleaning services to the church." So when they go into the church, the other people in the church, they wear their uniform and they clean, and people, "Oh, this church is clean. Oh, our XYZ people clean it." And then from there, you get referrals and businesses. Also, don't be negative about, what you do. I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was asking, "Oh, the person is trying to import some items into Nigeria," and I said, "But why can't we do this in Nigeria?" And then he goes, "Oh, the government, the economy, the this, the that." And I'm like, "Hey, people are making money from this bad economy. So don't go on crying or shouting about how bad the economy is. Look at what it is that is good about the economy and project it. You go outside Nigeria, talk well about what you do, talk well about yourself. You are meeting people. Don't look at. Everything has a positive and a negative side. So always look at it. Always talk to people about the positives of your business. Talk to people about the good part of your business and not just the bad parts and the things like that. Now, the other thing you also need to avoid your mind to is the use of technology. I know many young people already know how technology works, but again, people make money from it. How to use it effectively? Social media marketing, something optimization, search engine optimization. Things like that. You need to know how to use it. I was watching a video today on digital products. You just sit in your house and you make millions. So it's important that you deploy your technologies effectively towards your business. Then you also need to let people understand and know that if you're a makeup artist or you're into catering, that you're an expert in the whatever area you find yourself. So it's not just going to be about there's so many of us doing it. Let people know you for what you do. Let people know you for who you are, and let people have confidence in the ability that the process that you have. You need to invest in yourself. You need to do constant trainings, workshops like this. Buy books, buy magazines, travel. You need to have that culture of reinvesting whatever it is you have in yourself. Go for conferences and things like that. Also, I think I mentioned this earlier. One area that customers always appreciate is that they can always access you. If you're not accessible, if they can't reach you, then they'll look elsewhere. So if I need them, if you're a makeup artist or the photographer that I mentioned, I wanted a photographer. If I have another project, a big project in Abuja now, of course.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Jude, I'm on here.
Oh, okay.
I think Mr. Fabunmi is actually offline.
Okay. Sorry, we're having some difficulties which will be fixed quickly, so just hold on. Let our moderator continue talking to you guys. So, moderator, you can tell them one or two things while I try to communicate with Mr. Kayode. He's reconnecting. I think he's having some issues from his end. So you can be talking to the audience while we try to resolve the problem. You're presenting.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right, so we're still on to the webinar, tips on starting a successful business in your youth. Well, it's very important to know that at this stage of Nigerians, especially when we're operating a mono-economic system, we need to actually empower the African youth on entrepreneurship. But it brings me to the question of innovation. Someone said innovation is a specific instrument for entrepreneurship. So what are you doing? What are you doing different? What kind of new element are you bringing to your business? How are you making your brand work? These are some things that we have to take into consideration when we're talking about starting, a business that will stand the test of time. And one other thing that I feel that is very imperative, very, very important is the role of mentors. I mean, it's very, very important to have mentors when we're talking about entrepreneurship. You can't just start alone. You have to have a level. So you have to have a good relationship with people who have actually gone through the same processes that you have gone through. And when you broke it down and said, what mentorship does is it's like taking you on a tour. And I actually agree with that school of thought because it will show you the things that you have to know, the risks that you have to take.
Okay, Mr. Praise, I just got a word from our presenter. He's having some difficulty with the electricity. Now it is in Nigeria. His inverter actually went off, so he's putting on the gen and then he'll get back to us shortly to continue presenting. So let's just keep on talking while we wait for him. He will soon join us very soon. So we can still be talking. So you were talking about this. Our topic is a very important topic, and it was specifically picked because of the intensity of what is offering to youths, especially young people who want to start their business. Testimony of that, and you also being the president of Juice Civil, you know what I'm talking about, and how it has been, the difficulties we face trying to set up this kind of stuff, especially when we are still young people, when you're looking for funds and all of that. So I think this our webinar is actually very important for young people and it's actually interactive for them. What do you think, Mr. Praise?
It's a very wonderful innovation. It's very, very wonderful. And as a matter of fact, we encourage it. And because the problem, the idea is that business or understanding business can only be on these platforms. That is where you get to understand. You have to go through a lot of processes. You need to go for trainings. And the Empowered African Youth Foundation, I'm so glad about this initiative because this is what we're actually passing across to people who are interested in business. People don't like talking about business. Many people do. Okay, people we call it this way. We don't. Many people don't have the business sense. But well, I believe, especially our country, Nigeria, um, um, technically, that's what they said in an economic recession. So I actually believe that this is the era in which we diversify the economy. And when we talk about diversification of the economy, it means that we're looking at potential places, potential places where business can thrive and how we can get everyone back. That's
So
what I feel about
what my this thing, little opinion on that is that the way the economy is now, youth actually the people that build and change the world where we live in is actually the youths. You're actually active, more active than normal. But we find out that what we are seeing now is that our youths are not encouraged, we are not empowered, we are not given that voice to talk, to present ourselves, to have this kind of opportunity. And in fact, that was the reason why I came up with our this initiative to try to interact with our youths, especially the African youths in our continent, in the African continent, to talk to them and to tell them all these things. So I think the country, especially Nigeria, the country we are living in now currently, because we still, with time, we'll still move on to other countries and all that. But Nigeria now is the main place. What do you think should be done to help to empower our youths? What do you think, Mr. Praise? Hello? Hello? Okay. Mr. Praise is also having some difficulties too. So um, let me just share some of the documents that we had, our presenter was presenting on today, so we can all see it for ourselves and have a brief view of that. Okay. I'm coming. Let me share the screen with you so you can see what our presenter was presenting on. Okay. So, Mr. Praise, you're back on.
Okay,
Hello?
sorry for the. Yeah, I'm here. I'm back on.
Okay. So I'm actually trying to share the screen of what our presenter was presenting on, but you can keep on just keep on talking. We're still waiting for this thing, our presenter to join us.
Okay,
So
all right. Okay, so back to the question you asked me, Jude. What I actually feel for the African youth to be empowered, we need people to be actively involved. And when I talk about people, I'm talking about the government. I'm talking about the African leadership has to be involved in empowering the youth. And we also need private persons. I mean, NGOs, non-governmental organizations like the Empowered African Youth Foundation, to collaborate with the government, give platforms where we can, most of our youth might find expression. Sell out their ideas and see how it can transform Africa. Most of what we see in the Western world have been small ideas, but have been nurtured by great people, and that is actually why it has been how it is today. So, in summary, what I'm saying is that the African youth and entrepreneurs around the world, both home and in the diaspora, have a role in ensuring that we empower the African youth. How do we empower them? We help them in startup grants. We help them in starting up their businesses by giving them capital. Because the idea is that no matter how you feel a business can start up with an idea, you need money.
Okay.
Literally, you need money. But what the orientation that we're giving outside for people
No,
is that
that's in fact
money
that
should
is the
money.
that is the problem. The money. Most people don't have that money, that initial capital to start their business. That's what delays most people from starting, especially young people who want to start their business. Most of them, they don't have the capital. You hear, like I was discussing one of my friends, he wants to go into real estate and he's just a university student. Now the question is asking, how is he going to get that money to go into real estate when the banks are not giving loans and all of that? So what do you think should be done to as in address this kind of problem, this financial problem that young people have, especially when they want to start businesses? What do you think we should do
You know,
actually?
like I told you, every progressive society, any progressive nation, um, goes forward not because of its name, but it's about the entity. I'm talking about the people itself. And we spoke about you spoke about finances being a problem in starting up a business. Oh, we just discussed about that. But like I told you earlier on, I feel this is when we have people being involved in the process. This is when we need NGOs, non-governmental organizations who are not just focused on just having a brand for itself, or aimed at making money alone. So there should be like a give back process. You understand? There should be a give back process. There should be a give back process. You're empowering the next generation of people. And so if you're a company, you're a multinational company, you think about entrepreneurship. You see how we can support, how we can fund the study of entrepreneurship in schools. I mean,
Yes, especially
teaching.
there's a sorry to interrupt. There's a concept that I think we have not adopted yet in Nigeria, and that is when you go to other African countries, you see places like entrepreneurship innovation centers. You see all those kind of things in advanced countries of the world where they have labs where they train young entrepreneurs and give them an opportunity to learn new skills, learn how to manage their business. And we don't have those kind of things in Nigeria. So, in fact, my NGO personally is one of the one of our objectives to ensure we build something like that. So when you raise that topic of giving them the area and so it came to my mind. I thought I should share it. This so continue what you were saying. Sorry for the interruption. You can
All right.
continue. Yes.
So basically,
Yes.
that is what I was saying. I said we need. Nobody's going to bring the finances. Actually, nobody's going to bring the finances. Nobody would bring the
Okay.
finances apart from Nigerians. I mean,
Okay.
well-meaning Nigerians, and that's why when the whole idea of entrepreneurship comes to my mind, especially when we're talking from the African perspective, it reminds me of
Yeah.
Aliko Dangote. It reminds me of Aliko Dangote.
Yes.
If you have a conversation of you have an opportunity to read about Aliko talk on TV, he would tell you that he's concerned about empowering Africa. I mean, so he has Africa as the focus. And so if we have well-meaning Nigerians just like Dangote thinking about the African continent in that light, it actually means that we are progressing. We have seen it so many times. I mean, the empowerment, the funds being distributed to young entrepreneurs, platforms that bring up entrepreneurs. We have had so many of those platforms. Okay, I think we are linked right now to Mr. Fabunmi. You're welcome,
Okay,
sir.
Mr. Fabunmi is back. Okay. Okay, that's nice. Thank you, Mr. Praise, for that brief discussion we had, and this it was. So let's turn back. Let's go back to Mr. Fabunmi so he continues from where
Right,
he stopped.
quickly before. Okay,
Okay. Okay. No, 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 no,
quick.
no, no. You can say what you want to say before.
Okay.
Yes.
Quickly before Mr. Fabumi goes on, in telling us about the tips. A
Okay.
great man once said that innovation is the
Okay.
specific instruments for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Innovation is the specific instrument for entrepreneurship. Innovation. It now brings me to the fact that we have many Nigerians, especially the youth, the young Nigerians, the people that we have on. We have many business ideas. A lot of people are into makeup. A lot of people are
Okay.
into photography. But what do
Yes.
you think would make them stand out? It brings me to the question of how can you create an effective business brand that does not just go conventional with what people have outside there? So what keeps you, you know, distinguished from the rest of the other business models that we have in Africa and Nigeria as a whole? Mr. Fabunmi.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, the first thing is you don't create a plan to distinguish yourself. It's what you do that distinguishes you. So if your plan says say hello, now you can say hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? I mean, that's the humanity that comes into what you're doing. The critical thing that you need to have, you must be the heartbeat of the business. So even when you, I'll give you a good example. I mean, if you look at the creative industry now, when we were young, it used to be Baba Salah and the rest of them that were the comedians. I mean, what they did then is not so much different from what they're doing now. The musicians, the Blackie, what's the name of this guy again? And the rest of them were the musicians at the time. But now, it's the same music they're singing. They probably use the same sort of instruments that they were using then, I mean, comparatively to what they're doing now. What distinguishes you from your competitor is how you do what you do. So even when you sweep the floor, you may be a cleaner and then you're a celebrity. They're celebrity chefs. You just put in that extra effort into what you're doing, putting that passion into what you're doing. So I mean, there's really no recipe into that beyond just giving it the best shot that you can give it. So when you do a plan and you say, well, I've done the best business plan designed by the best business planner. If it's not your line of business, if you're not passionate about it, if you're not interested in it, if you don't have what it takes, if you're not gifted in it, you will fail. And then you may have somebody that's never written a business plan, that probably has not even gone to school, do the same thing and succeed. So if you look at it from like the girl that's in the Olajumoke story, I mean, she probably just walks, in her mind she feels, even though I'm a bread seller, I'm a princess, I'm a queen, and it may just be that, and then she bumps into a photo shoot, and then that's it, pronto. There are many people that are bread sellers that bumped into photo shoots, and nothing has happened. So there's the extra thing that you cannot explain, that you cannot describe, that goes into everything you do, that can then distinguish you from being successful. And you find out, okay, there are lots of makeup artists, like you mentioned, but some of them fail, while some of them succeed. So again, I think the difference between success and failure in business is, one, the skill you have and what you're ready to put into it.
Okay, Mr. Fabio. Okay, the second question I want to ask you is that it brings me to the aspect of mentorship when it comes to entrepreneurship. A lot of people have the idea, oh God, I have this business, I want to start up this, but they don't know how to go about it, and it's a very big problem, right? As far as I'm concerned, we are young people. We are faced with challenges, and so it brings me to submitting that mentorship is very important. But how the problem is, most of the young people that we're talking about right now have a problem of access to this. The people that have actually made it. I don't know, for whatever reasons, I wouldn't know, but I feel it's a problem. How do you think this particular issue can be addressed, sir? The issue of mentorship.
Yeah, you see, my own personal feeling about this thing is, we like to conceptualize things, too many times. I can call myself a mentor, and I can be a dream killer. I can call myself a mentor, and I may be toxic. I can call my mentor, and I may be useless to you. The mentorship, as much as is good, is not essential. It is not essential. Because again, like I said earlier on, you have a father. A father, for all intents and purposes, should be your mentor from the start. But if he doesn't see what you're seeing, if I'm a mentor and you talk to me and I don't see what it is that you are seeing, and I discourage you, and what you're seeing is a very, 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 very good idea or initiative, and I kill it, that means that idea is dead. So again, the value it brings to you in terms of what you can achieve for yourself, I don't think we need to make it as important as it is. Mentorship, you will gravitate towards people that are your mentors. It may not even be any successful person. He may be the man down the street that you see him tying his laces or plucking fruit from the tree beside your school or your house. That may be your mentor, and you look at that person and like, I like the way this person, and then you follow that rhythm, rather than you saying, "Oh, I am a mentor. I consciously, this is my job to mentor people." No, I think that we just like conceptualizing things, and it's very risky and dangerous. What I think it is when you task or you move towards like you do a lot of reading, you do a lot of conferencing and things like that, you'll be meeting people of like minds, and they won't have to call themselves your mentor. They won't have to say that. You just find out that you have a problem, you go and meet him, Exa, what do you think about ABCD? And he will say it to you. But by the time you start wearing that clothes of, oh, I'm a mentor, then we're beginning to create a dangerous precedent. So that's my view. I don't think mentorship is very important as much as your own personal view or interest in what it is that you need to do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Fabunmi. Well, you could go on with the tips before we round up this session.
Okay. Well, I believe I was talking about how accessible you should be, reliable in terms of your business, however small the business is. Little things starts, the big thing starts from little things. Again, if I refer back to why we're here, we've had problems, we had challenges, but then we're here, and that is what is important. When you say you will do something, then you are doing it. When you tell your clients or your customers you're going to have this, they have it. That's it. And one important thing I also need to say is the world now works on a 24 hours basis. You are supplying, you're getting something from China, or you're supplying China. China is about, I think, 7 or 9 hours ahead of us. You're supplying something in LA is about 9 hours behind us. So the world is a 24-hour world now, business world. So you need to be able to manage yourself in such a way that you are available right round the clock. That's not to say that you don't rest or do other things, but you must have put yourself in a situation where you're able to manage your time effectively in order to relate. And I'll tell you a story. There's a training institution I attended in America. Most of their market is in Africa and Asia. Now, America is what? About 5-6 hours behind us. So as you move away from us, the time keeps increasing. You know what they did? Because when it's 6 a.m. in America, it's 11 a.m. here. When it's 8 a.m. here, it's about what? 4 a.m., 3 a.m. in America. So they have a secretary that works around the clock because the market they are servicing is here. So they didn't say, oh, okay, you know what, America, we are 5 hours ahead, so blah, 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 which would have been an excuse that you can easily give and would be accepted. But they made sure that they created a platform where they had a chain of people staying on. So when is 11 o'clock Nigerian time, you can say, oh, they're still working in America, you send them an email and you know they'll respond to it. If you wake up at 8 a.m. in Nigeria, you send them an email, they'll respond to it. And that's the way you need to think as a business person. And again, back to, which links up to the next thing, you need to have a reputation that people will hold you by. If people know that you are reliable, they will come to you. It might be the best makeup artist, and you tell your customer, okay, I'll come at 8. She has a wedding for 9, and you're not there at 8. You're not there at 8:30. You're not there at 9. Then you now call at 9:30 and say, oh, sorry, it was go slow, it was traffic. Nobody wants to hear that. So you must have that reputation of, if he says 8, if she says 8, 8 means 8. If she says 9, 9 means 9. I also remember I was talking to somebody, I was going to do business with somebody, and the person said, oh, please, when it comes to money, be mindful of this person. So again, that person has a reputation problem. So be mindful, know that your reputation is very, 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 very important in business. Also, we also have people that, you know, they like to do the armchair business. As an entrepreneur and as a young entrepreneur, everything you do, if you're a farmer, make sure that you have been to the farm. You know how to do everything that's been done on the farm. Don't give instructions, sit down somewhere and say, oh, I have my boys on the ground. No. Before you can have your boys on the ground, you must know what the boys on the ground are actually doing. And the only way you can know it is when you have done it yourself. You know, so never share business that you leave, you know, you leave other people in charge. You must have been part of it before you can then start delegating and things like that. So you must be responsible to your business. Another thing you need to do is always keep in touch with your customers, you know, and suppliers. Make sure you cultivate that habit of staying in touch with people. That also helps, you know, in developing your business. One area that I find that we don't really use here is having advisors around. Now, you don't have to come to someone like me and say, oh, I want to register a company. As a matter of fact, the Tochukwu didn't come to me to register his NGO. He probably went somebody that would charge him for less. So what you need to do is, even at your stage, you can start building up your network of people from school. I remember when I was in school, we had a clique of, you know, some of us that were, I wasn't yet called to the bar, I wasn't a lawyer, but we had, when they had some sort of legal issues, oh, K is a student, you know, lawyer and all that, so they come to me. There's an accountant, there's an economist, and till today, we still keep in touch, you know, as that group. So if I need a medical doctor, so you can build up that platform as well. So if you're in school, you need legal advice, you know, you don't company law, you don't, you know, you have legal clinics in your schools now. Patronize them. You need accounting, petty cash, and all those things. You need an accountant, you need a sociologist, you know. So whatever it is, start building up your team, cultivate the habit of having people that advise you professionally, you know, in terms of your business in order to succeed. So that I mean, I'm done with the tips. I don't know if you have any questions you want us to.
Okay, at this point in time, I would like to hand over to Mr. Jude, the founder of the Empowered Youth, to have some questions.
I want to ask you a question concerning avoiding toxic people. What do you mean by I'm avoiding toxic people?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a business,
yes,
you
sir.
have let's use Facebook as an example.
Okay.
Now, the man comes up and says he wants to network people. He wants people to see each other's activity and all of that. And his father feels you are still in part 2. What do you know? Go back to school. Or his uncle says you are not serious. You can't be serious. You are in Harvard and you are talking about this. You are silly. Go back to school. Or his friends say to him, oh, look at this stupid guy. See what he's saying. He wants to create a platform where all of us will network each other. You're stupid. Or his sister says, oh, can you imagine? My brother is losing it. He's been in the garage all day, all night, just, you know, trying to network people. Now, these people love you. I mean, they probably love him, rather. They love him. But then they are toxic to the business which he wants to set up.
Okay.
You know, they will not allow the dream to be back. They will not allow the idea to come to fusion. So these are people that, I mean, even my father discouraged me from so many. I remember when I just finished from school, I wanted to go into exporting. He went like, oh, no, you cannot. And I'll tell you one thing.
Yes, sir.
One of the things, the first car I bought,
yes, sir,
as a lawyer,
yes, sir,
just shortly after I finished, was some proceeds of perfume that I sold. You know, a friend of mine started a perfume business, you know, manufacturing perfume, and I got involved with him. The first car I bought was from that process. So again, I didn't tell my dad was upset, but I didn't tell him when I wanted to start. By the time he knew that I started, he was very upset. But I mean, I was self-dependent. I didn't have to ask him for anything. If anything, I was even buying things, you know, to give to him now and again and all that. So, but if I'd gone to tell him that, oh, I want to do perfume, he would say, oh, you, a lawyer, you want to do perfume? Never. You know, so your close family members may be people that would actually kill the dream, or if you started the dream, scuttle it and all of that. So the point is, be careful who you share your ideas with.
Yes.
Meanwhile, some parents are very good; they will support you and all the rest of it. But some
Why
other
so?
parents have the ideas of what you need to do, and then
Okay, sir,
they won't support it.
I want to ask you another question in regards to our moderator, Praise. He's running a chamber system in our school called Jules Civil. It's actually a very good initiative because he's trying to harness everything that is related to students into. I think I should give him the floor. What I want to say, yes, is because he's quite in a hurry to leave, I want you to advise him on what he should do and about it, put it in order, then before he leaves. So, Mr. Praise, you can ask your question.
Okay, all right. Currently, I've been opportunity to head one of the chamber here in Law Student Society from the 4 chambers that we have in school. And
Akin
we've had a
Ajibola
problem
University.
at Babalola University. And we've
Yes.
had some challenges, although we are not focused on the challenges. And the challenge is people are finding it strange, in adapting, sorry, to what we are doing in school. So it's just like people leaving their natural habitats to, attending to something different that we're doing. And in a typical law college, we expect interactive, um, an interactive forum where people can communicate effectively, talk about topical issues, ranging from global issues, symposiums. But people find it strange about adopting to this, and that's why we actually had to strike a balance by seeing how we can work on the social media game and the social media platform, introduce online competitions, just like one that is ongoing. I love Nigeria Challenge to see how students can instill a sense of patriotism. But the idea, the problem right now is how can people really work and realize that this is to their advantage? How can they see the initiative and embrace it? What kind of what kind of adjustment can be done? What would you recommend to be done in drawing people's attention? Because we try every alternative, apart from people who don't really want to hear about the normal conventional things, about debates, about the law things, but they're interested in photography, other things that are outside law. How can we draw the attention, sir?
All right, thank you. I would say something. Just like you, many years back, I also formed the chambers in my school in Obafemi Awolowo University when I was a student. And before then, there was a set pattern that chambers used to operate from. Yeah, and you go and you speak formally, you speak like a lawyer, and the rest of it. Hold on, please. Hold on.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. I'm back.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, you know what we did? We looked at the market, we looked at everything, and we said, we looked at the school, we looked at the faculty, and we said, you know what? We have to do something different. So whilst other chambers that were doing every year, there's this like I would call it like a law week, the chambers week and all that. They used to have lectures. They bring Supreme Court judges, justices. They bring very popular lawyers, Ganifao, Amy, and the rest of them, and they come. You know what? British, my chambers was called British Chambers. What we did was very, very simple. Instead of us to have lectures that they normally have, we just organized a moot and mock trial, which was never organized, which had never been organized before. We got a high court judge to come in. We asked the storyline, counsel, members of the council, witnesses, and all that. The whole school, Obafemi Awolowo University, stood still for 2 days because of British Chambers. Everybody in the school knew what we were doing. So we didn't have to, we just did something different, something unusual, something that made people to say, wow, I want to join you guys. The following year or the following recruitment, we had so many people that we had to screen people away. We couldn't take all the people that showed interest. And then, of course, from being a nobody, we showed up to be the #1 chambers in the school. So, and people came, to ask for opinions and advice, and students came and all that. So, you have to do something out of the box. You have to think out of the box. I have an idea for you. I might discuss that offline. You have to think outside of the box. Do something that will make them know you. Otherwise, nobody's going to know you. You just be one of the many other people that aren't doing anything interesting or you're not catching the attention. So that's my advice to you. Just do something. But I'll give a more specific advice when we can talk. But I don't think this is the right forum to discuss that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Fabu. All right, Mr. Jude, hand over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Praise, for your time, for helping us to moderate this. I'll continue from where you stopped and
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. So, Mr. K, I want to ask you a question concerning planning. How, like when I was about to start this NGO, I had some problems with planning, especially designing a business plan and putting in the few things that should be done. So, what do you advise young people who don't have this knowledge? I am lucky because I'm a law student. So I have a brief knowledge of what it is to prepare a legal document and procedures to pass through. But some people who don't have this educational background and backing, what do you think they should do to help them with their planning, especially when they want to start a business? Because anybody that fails to plan plans to fail. So if you don't plan properly, your business cannot move forward. So what do you have to say? I want you to just help us elucidate more on the planning aspect of starting a business in your youth.
Yeah.
Have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. You know one thing I said before was you need to have a team of advisors around you.
Okay.
If you don't have a team of advisors around you, you don't know it all. So you're fortunate to be a bit of it. You don't even know it all still. You still need other people to work around you. So the first thing that you need to do as a young person doing business is get people around you. If you have experienced people that can tell you what to do, fine. If you can't, go down the ladder. So you can get a new week from law school as if you need a lawyer to explain things to you. If you don't want that, you can ask people in your part 5 or part 4 or your lecturer or but make sure that you have a team or a group of people that you can consult and they'll tell you what needs to be done. Otherwise, you will not be there. So the first ingredient to planning is having the right team around you.
Okay, the right team. That what again should be done, sir?
Sorry?
What again? Apart from having the right team, is there any other aspect like?
Now, the other thing that you can do, which is risky, is for you to read up on it. Now, if you read up and you don't read the right thing, you may end up being misdirected. But if you read up and you follow the line and you're reading, because of course there's so many materials on the internet, some of them are good, many of them are bad. Yeah. But if you read and you may go to what it is you need to do. But what is important is that you have the right technical support around you.
Okay.
And then with the little knowledge you may have acquired from reading, then all that gel together and then gives you a tip. The truth of the matter is that we need to move away from being lazy to being serious and hardworking.
Okay.
So you want to do a business, you want to set up, read up about it, have a general view, but the professional will put it in the proper perspective for you. But again, like I would say again, it's important that you have a team of advisors around you helping you with whatever it is you need to do or to know.
Okay. So in general words, what is your advice to those our viewers and those who still log in later to view and watch our webinar today? What do you advise them, the youth, who want to start business and they are eager to learn new, gather new knowledge to help them and back them up, especially in this in their strive to become successful business entrepreneurs. What do you have to tell them? Your words. What advice? What of advice do you
Yeah,
have for them?
my advice would be that they shouldn't be discouraged.
Okay.
One, two, whenever anything comes to their mind, they should put it down. We're moving in a fast, we're living in a fast moving world. So anything that comes to mind, get in a paper, get it in your phone, whatever it is, put it down. Once you put it down, then start working towards it. And there's so many, a million. I was watching CNN African Startup yesterday, and there was an idea that I sort of had, and I've been toying with it. And I heard somebody talking about it on it's something similar to that on African Startup. So whatever ideas you have, put it down, start working on it. Don't be discouraged. Finance, access to finance is one issue, but it's not the major, it's not the most major challenge. And I keep saying to people, I mean, say you have a business, and I said to you, there's 10 million on the 10 million naira on the table. What are you going to do? And then you start hearing you know, so you don't need the money. So when you say, oh, I need money to do something or blah blah blah, it's usually not the case because you don't even know what you're going to do if you get 10 million naira. You know, so my advice is don't be discouraged. Put down whatever it is you want to put down as your idea, develop it into a document, have it down, and talk about it. You know, project it, start working on it, however small. You know, start little by little by little by little until one day you blossom and then excel in your business or career as the case may be.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It has been a very wonderful experience, and we have had a wonderful time with you. Although our second speaker is not available right now, he's having some difficulty. I contacted him, and he confirmed that he will not be joining us today for our webinar. But we are very glad to have you on this wonderful, our first media webinar for our NGO, Empowered African Youth Foundation, and we hope we'll be seeing you some other time when we're having other topics, especially by December. We are planning on organizing another webinar for youth, not business this time, but youth generally. So, sir, we hope we'll see you and interact with you next time too, like this. Huh?
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I wish we had a few more people so that we can interact very well.
Converse. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I'm very happy.
But this, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm very happy to come on. You know, when anytime I'm invited to speak.
Okay. We just
and just a minute. And if anybody needs to contact me, I think
okay.
They can contact me through you. I'll be happy to discuss how to grow a business, how to set up a business successfully. There are modules that I train people, I teach people on, and I'll be very happy to share my experiences and my knowledge with you guys.
Yes, sir. You should. I think you should express that. Tell us more of what you're doing because I'm a beneficiary of your camps and your seminars and conferences, and I can guarantee that I've gained much knowledge that I need, especially what I'm doing right now. So you can talk more about what you do, your seminars and your conferences and the rest, so people who are watching can have a view and also know how to reach out to you and gain information from you, sir.
Yeah, our flagship program for youth or for young people is the Canterbury Summer Camp, which takes place in University of Kent, Canterbury,
Okay.
University of Kent in Canterbury, United Kingdom, in July. Where we keep changing the model. The next camp is going to be very exciting. We're planning to make it an international camp, and
Okay.
so it's going to be an international camp for future leaders.
Okay.
We're targeting students from many countries, so it's going to be pretty much like a United Nations styled camp. You know, where you have different nationalities, and part of what you will be looking at for the camp is to find solutions to some of the global challenges that the world is facing now. I will be very happy to give more details as the case is, I mean, when it comes out. But It's going to be for 2 weeks, and one thing I can assure you, I will assure you, is that it's going to be a lot of fun. But in due time, you start seeing the ads out, and so if anybody is interested, please kindly contact us or contact Jude. We'll be very happy to have you at the camp. We also have other programs that we organize for law students and non-law students. We have trainings on starting businesses, on maintaining businesses. We have trainings for law students. We have training for business students, and so we have different offerings for different categories of people. But our flagship program, like I said, is the Canterbury Summer Camp, and that will be very big for the next one. That's Canterbury Summer Camp 2017. So I look forward to having as many people that would like to attend join us.
Okay. We just had someone just joined us on our conversation. Someone just joined the circle now. Raphael is our general secretary, and we'd like to share some words with us. At least let's hear from him before we round off. And, so Raphael, you have the floor. What do you have to say? Do you have anything to share with us before we round off this session?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, you're online.
Okay.
You're presenting.
I want to ask Mr. K a question. People usually say, or businessmen usually say that when you start a business initially, that within the first few months, or sometimes even up to a year, that your target shouldn't be to make profits, but should be to build a name for yourself and then to promote goodwill. So I want to find out the authenticity of that assertion, and then if true, what is the average period for you to build this goodwill or a name for yourself in business?
The truth of the matter is, I think they haven't been conservative when they say a few months. You need 1,000 days, which is roughly about three years, before you should break even in your business. So most experts will tell you that you need 3 years before you start thinking of profits. You may have operating profits, which is, when you look at what you're selling vis-a-vis what you're buying. But the actual profit of your business should not come until 3 years after you started the business. So in those 3 years, you would have built up a reputation. If you survive the first 3 years, then you're sure that your business it may not eventually survive, but at least is on the sure footing to survival. So you have 3 years to build a reputation, to build a customer base, to try and test all that you need to have within the business model. And then after 3 years, if you now don't make profit, well, depending on how your business is structured and what it is you're doing, then maybe you're having a problem. But if you stay up to 3 years, the chances of you failing as a business is very slim. I don't have the statistics, but your chances of failing is very, very slim. So you should have a threshold of about 3 years, not months.
Okay. I understand, but that 3 years looks like a very, very long time, to be honest. But then
no, the thing is, it's not a long time.
Rome was not
No, it's not a long time. Except you just want to buy and sell a product. But if you want to build a business, now there's a difference. You want to build a business, you have to look at 3 years. And that's one of the mistakes a lot of us make, a lot of youths make, by thinking that, when I start a business, if you make profit, you sold maybe a month. I know you're into it. As a matter of fact, I'm wearing your t-shirt now, Ralph.
Raphael,
are you there?
I think he's having some. Okay, he's having.
Anyway, he launched his t-shirt last week, Saturday or so.
Yes.
I'm wearing Akali or something like that. I'm wearing the t-shirt. Now, for that business to succeed, it's not just going to be 1, 2, or 3. You're going to look at it holistically for 3 years to build a brand. So I'm wearing it for the first time. Is it going to tear? How long is it going to stay on? There's so many issues. you know, you're going to change the design, you're going to change the style, change so many things about it. But after 3 years, if the business succeeds, then you're in business.
Okay. Okay, sir. All right. I think Ralph just left. I think he's having some difficulties as well too. So, sir, it has been a wonderful experience having you once again. Recently, we're still sharing our. It's a pleasure to have you, sir. So, to our viewers, this is Empowered African Youth Foundation's first webinar, tips on starting a successful business in your youth. And we just concluded our first ever webinar. And we would like you guys to follow our YouTube page at Empowered African Youth Foundation to gain more insights. We'll be organizing more of these, more webinars, more seminars. In fact, our NGO specifically, the aim of our NGO is to empower African youth and to promote entrepreneurship amongst young Africans. And we have started now, and we are putting in efforts, as Mr. Akin has said. Right now, we are not looking for profit. No, our NGO is even a non-profit making organization, but we are trying to build a name and trying to connect with African youths, not only Nigeria, not Ghana, but all African youths together in one bunch. We want to, that's our main target, and we're going to achieve our aim by God's grace. So it was nice talking to you guys and sharing these free tips with you guys. So when we meet again, my name is Mr. Eketuchukwu Jude, and Mr. Fabunmi, Mr. Kayode Fabunmi, Honorable Mr. K, popularly known as Mr. K. So it's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to watch us today. I hope you have a nice time and enjoy yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.